Welcome, fight fans. It's you boy Blue, and this is the first episode of BLÜ-FC. So, right off the bat, we're just going to go kind of through a general outline of how we're going to do this every episode. So, we're going to go through a quick recap of what we saw in the last event, which in this case would be Uriah Hall and Sean Strickland, which is UFC Vegas 33. We're going to discuss that a bit. And then after that, we're going to move on to the next event, which, of course, in this case, UFC 265. And then we're going to be doing the odds, which are going to be from Bet99, my predictions of how the fights are going to go. And of course, if you have any questions or if you want to discuss along the way, I would love to hear your opinions, maybe get a fresh new perspective that I hadn't thought of, or whatever. We can chat about anything related to this. So yeah, would love to hear from everybody. So for the last event, as I said, that was Uriah Hall and Sean Strickland at UFC Vegas 33. Normally in an event, I would talk about, like future matchups and rankings, but just because of the way this card went, I don't really have that this time because, there were a lot of fights canceled. So most people had some pretty low expectations for this, but not me, because as opposed to everybody else, I know, and it's probably cliche to say this, but usually the cards that don't have a lot of huge names on them, those are usually the cards that you really want to see. And this is definitely one of those cards. You want to see every card, and that is exactly why I watched pretty much every card. I missed one or two for the past 2 years. And yeah, like I said, this is one of those crazy cards that you just don't really expect. I would say, honestly, this is one of the only events where everyone deserved a bonus, except I will say kind of the main event. I don't know about that one. I just didn't really see regular Uriah Hall in there. I don't know. And the commentators even pointed it out. It's not just me. I do like Uriah Hall, but yeah, the commentators pointed it out too. He didn't really do any leg kicks. There wasn't really any pressure from him. Strickland just kind of did whatever he wanted. I don't know. It was really weird. It was really weird to see because I saw the event on Halloween, with Anderson Silva and Uriah Hall, and it was pretty good. Sure, say what you want about Anderson Silva. Sure, he was on a huge losing skid. That was also his last fight and blah, blah, blah. But still, it's still Anderson Silva. So it's not like, Uriah Hall's some scrub. And of course, again, yes, sure, did he really beat Chris Weidman? Yes, he did. But he didn't actually throw a strike. So, I won't even count that one. I'm just talking about the Anderson Silva one, really. But anyway, so that was pretty much it for that event, because again, I don't really have too much to say about rankings and future matchups, because pretty much everybody on that card was just, none of them were really ranked except for the main two there. So instead, I want to go further back, because this is the first episode. I want to go further back to 2 weeks ago when we had Sandhagen and Dillashaw. And the main thing that I want to say about this, really the theme of the event was the problems with judge scores. I've seen some fights that I'm like, that probably should have gone the other way. Or, some scores here and there. And even the commentators will say it sometimes, especially Daniel Cormier. He likes to do that. And, where you see some scores where you're like, what the fuck were they seeing? This was easily the biggest robbery I have ever seen. And look, I love Macy Barber. I wanted her to win the fight. I like her a lot. But she very clearly did not win that fight. There's no way. There's no chance she won that fight at all. I actually like Miranda Maverick too, but again, I was cheering for Macy Barber there. But yeah, that's just one of the problems with the judging scores. And that was really throughout the night too. It wasn't just that fight. There were a couple weird scores earlier on. And then in the main event, Some people call it a robbery. Honestly, I wouldn't. I wouldn't call it a robbery, but because I would really say that it actually could have gone either way. But I will say I definitely scored it for Sandhagen. Sorry. But I did have a sinking feeling the judges would kind of give it to TJ. And before you get angry in the chat, I am not the only one who scored it that way. Khabib, the lightweight king, he also scored it for Sandhagen. And I'll even point out that in the middle of the fight, Daniel Cormier even said how amazing Khabib was at judging fights. So that should tell you something. And I mean, I know you don't want to you don't want to give the winner of the, just because Dillashaw was bleeding so much, you don't want to say that Sandhagen clearly won. I don't like to do that. And I mean, that's not fair either. I mean, you could get one huge hit and just bleed everywhere. I mean, Diaz does that all the time. But like, I don't know. Like, I do think he won that. I think he won 3-2. I do think it was really close, but I don't know. Is there any comments in here yet? Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, hi. Somebody said hello. Hi. Yeah. But we'll save the judging chat for another time. What I'm thinking is when it's a slow week, like next week, because there's no event next Saturday, I'm thinking we can pick some topics that we can debate and talk about. And I'm thinking that maybe the first one we can do is about the judging scores, especially after what happened 2 weeks ago. Because, I mean, we'll get more into it more later, obviously. But, I mean, that was insane. That was truly mind-blowing. And like I said, I do want to talk about the rankings for that one. Because, I mean, when you got two people in the top 5 fighting, you kind of want to see, who are they going to fight next and how the rankings work out and all that. What is the best division? Ooh, I'll get into that after I finish this thought, but thank you for that question. Actually, you know what? Bantamweight, I would say, I don't know if it is my favorite division, but I would say that this is, if not the best division, it is definitely the second best. This is the bantamweights are really, really good, and it is a really exciting division, especially because, I mean, the heavyweights, you got the power, but flyweights and bantamweights, you got the speed, and bantamweights, you got a little bit more power than those flyweights, and it's a really good mix. I really like it. But yeah, so for the rankings, I think honestly, these two, Sandhagen and Dillashaw, are actually, I would say they're number 1 and number 2 in the division. Honestly, I mean, sure, we got Sterling as the champ. I mean, I don't really know if I would call him the champ or not. I love Aljamain Sterling, but I mean, did you really win? I don't know. But yeah, and I would say Dillashaw is number 1. I would say Sandhagen's number 2, because I honestly think Petr Yan is a very close third. Because I think that if Sandhagen fought him, I honestly think he would probably win. It would be a really close fight. I think it would actually be another one that we basically just saw, which would be another close 3-2, maybe a split decision. I think it would be really close between Yan and either one of those guys. So yeah, I think those are the top 3. But yeah, for the matchups, I think that's where it gets really interesting. Excuse me. We've got, it was just announced. We've got Petr Yan against Aljo with the rematch in October, I think I wrote down. Yeah, in October. That's going to be good. Probably. I mean, I'm just going to give you guys my pick now. It's honestly going to be Petr Yan. Sorry. Like, again, I love Sterling, but Petr Yan kind of dominated that. You don't like Joe Rogan? Oh no, I love Joe Rogan. But yeah, you know what? My mom says the same thing. My mom does not like Joe Rogan. I don't know why. I think I don't know why people don't like him. I don't know. I love him. I love Joe Rogan. He's honestly my favorite. But I mean, I will say, again, getting off topic, but that's okay. I love Michael Bisping. Always love Michael Bisping. I love John Anik. John Anik is amazing. And I really actually like Paul Felder in there. I really wish they would give him more events to do. He's great. And same thing with, Cormier is pretty good too. And oh my God, Cormier and the Telestrator. Love it. Oh man. Anyway, so back to the rankings. I do love the questions in the chat though. Keep that coming. TJ, yeah. So I think honestly, the winner of that Aljo and Jan, which is probably going to be Jan, as I mentioned. I think TJ. I mean, come on, you definitely got to give TJ that shot because I mean, if he didn't just fight, you would have given Sandhagen that fight, the winner. So I mean, Dillashaw beat him, so you kind of have to give him the title shot. But he did say that he does want to fight sooner, and if that's all the way in October, that Jan fight, he also actually mentioned Rob Font because they might take too long after that title fight. So that would also be a really good matchup. I would love to see that. For the rest of the bantamweights, oh yeah, what about Corey the Sandman Sandhagen? Garbrandt is moving down, so he's not an option anymore. Aldo and Munoz fight this week, which we will talk about later. And I'm thinking good choice for Sandhagen. Probably give him the winner of that fight. I think that would be really cool. And I'll talk more about it later. I think I'm leaning towards Aldo. But yeah, I think that would be a really cool fight either way. Aldo or Munoz against what was I going to say? Corey Sandhagen. That would be really cool. I think that would be a great matchup. So yeah, that is it for the previous events. We are going to move on to the UFC 265 stuff. But before we do that, we will do an ad from our sponsor, High Stick Vodka.
Allow me to introduce High Stick Vodka, a new way to celebrate victory. Gather around the glass with an award-winning, ultra-premium Canadian-made vodka. You probably won't listen when I say High Stick Vodka has a smooth, hard-hitting taste, or that it's developed in the birthplace of hockey. You won't listen when I say High Stick Vodka is a tribute to the game of hockey, or when I tell you it's distilled 4 times using Canada's purest mountain spring water to provide an authentic, remarkable flavor. But maybe you will listen when I say it comes in a f***ing hockey stick. Showcase your passion for hockey with our limited edition hand-blown hockey stick bottle. Whether you're celebrating victory or drinking to defeat, High Stick Vodka is better after every shot. Visit us at highstickvodka.com. It also comes in this regular bottle. Celebrate victory. Drink responsibly.
Welcome back, everybody. Whoops. Oh boy, I clicked the wrong button. Oh yeah, I was looking at the chat again here. I feel like Joe Rogan is pretty good at figuring out what's happening most of the time. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, that McGregor one was really weird. I mean, nobody really knew how he actually had injured it at first. I mean, after replaying, actually, I didn't even see until the day after on Twitter, I found out that it was, he blocked it on the elbow, and that's what broke it. Because, I mean, yeah, most people kind of just thought, okay, maybe he went into the fight like that, and then maybe after he was blocking a few of those, it kind of just, slowly kind of hairline fractured it and then weakened it and then broke it. But yeah, in general, though, I mean, I feel like in general, he's pretty good. But yeah, everybody's entitled to their own opinions. I will say, though, he does kind of talk over everybody else sometimes, which is kind of annoying, especially with Anik, because I love Anik. And then seeing Joe Rogan kind of steamroll over him sometimes is kind of funny. Oh, yeah, and back to the best division. Like I said, I do love the bantamweights. They're super exciting. And I mean, my favorite fighter now, because I will say after everything that Connor's been doing, I would say he's kind of going down my list a little bit. He's still top 3, but still. My favorite fighter, which is the Sugar Show, Sean O'Malley, is my favorite fighter, and he is in the bantamweights. And yeah, there's just so many really good bantamweights out there. But I mean, yeah, you gotta love the lightweights, obviously. I don't know. What's another really good one? The welterweights. I mean, the welterweights are so good, but then of course when they go against Usman, it's like you're screwed. He's just too good. Anyway, so back to what we were doing, UFC 265. So the first one, I'm only going to stick to the main cards on my predictions here, just to, well, because I mean, those are really the ones that everybody cares about. I mean, again, I love all the prelims. I'm going to watch them anyway, but most people just care about the main cards. So that's what I'll be talking about. So the first one, we've got Song Yadong and Casey Kenny. I have a lot of these this week going either way, really. I mean, sometimes there's a lot of lopsided ones where it's like, okay, I'm pretty sure I know where this is going. But yeah, not this week. I got to say, there's a lot of really close fights, and we are going to look at the odds. And I looked at them already, and the odds reflect that. There are a lot of really, really close odds here. So yeah, for the odds for Song Yadong, Casey Kenny, we've got, and this is again, we put the link on the bottom there at Bet99 Sportsbook. Song Yadong, we've got minus 105, Casey Kenny minus 118. So yeah, it really is a toss up. Could go either way. But Casey Kenny, his last fight against Dominic Cruz, and that is a really tough fight for anyone, and he made it all the way to a split decision. That is tough to do, and I just haven't really seen Song Yadong do that really much. I just think that, especially after that Dominic Cruz fight, I think Casey Kenny has that slight edge. I'm going to say for my pick today, or this week, Casey Kenny. I'm going to give it to him by decision. I can't really see either one of them getting knocked out, but I also can't really see. Oops. Ooh, oh no. Something went weird on my laptop. Yeah, I can't really see Song Yadong winning that by decision. I mean, if you lose in a split decision to Dominic Cruz, you're pretty good. So yeah, I'm giving it to Casey Kenny by decision. The next one, we've got Tecia Torres and Angela Hill. So for this one, again, the odds really close. They've got Tecia Torres at minus 141 and Angela Hill at plus 115. So again, really close. Apparently, I actually didn't know this, but they fought before. This was years ago, though. So, I mean, don't put too much stock into that. And Torres actually won that one. But Hill has looked really good recently, especially I watched that I think it was her last one against the Karate Hottie, and she lost, I believe I don't know if it was a split decision, but it was a really close one, and she thinks that she won her last two decisions. She really does, and honestly, she kind of has an argument. They were really, really close fights. But yeah, because of that, because her last couple of fights were so close, and I'm just looking at the chat. Sorry. I'll finish my thought about this one, and then I will give my answer for that. Yeah, because of that, I think her last few opponents are better than Tecia Torres. Because, I mean, the Karate Hottie, amazing. And I forget who it was before that, but I'm pretty sure better than Tecia Torres. So, yeah, I'm saying if she got that close to those two, I think she's going to edge out Tecia Torres in this one. So I am going to give it to Angela Hill on this one. And I'm going to go again by decision. I can't see, especially when you see the lighter women fight, you don't see as many finishes, especially when they're higher up, unless of course you're talking about Shevchenko and Nunes or something. So I am definitely saying by decision here, especially since her last few fights have also gone to decisions, because she's tough, so she's hard to knock out, but she's also getting slightly older, so maybe that power is a little bit less, so she can't really knock anybody out anymore. I don't know. But yeah, I'm saying definitely Hill by decision. That is my choice for that one. And my most entertaining fight, what I think it is, I am definitely going to say that's got to be the main event. I mean, actually, no. You know what? I'm going to pick two. I'm going to say that the co-main, Jose Aldo and Munoz, and the main event. Those, I think, are going to be the two most exciting. But I also have a prelim to talk about later, which I also think is going to be really, really good that nobody's going to want to miss. But we'll get to that later. The next fight on the main card is Michael Chiesa and Vicente Luque. This was the one event that I did not see because they did not show it in Canada. I did not see Michael Chiesa's last fight, but I have heard that he is one of those fighters. I've never actually seen him fight, but I've heard that he's one of those ones that kind of just grinds through the fight. He doesn't do anything crazy. He doesn't do, well, what Luque does, which is try and finish all the time. So honestly, I kind of think my heart says that Luque is going to win by a KO because I think he's just a much heavier hitter and maybe more diverse. I don't know. But I just have a feeling that Chiesa is going to win because, I mean, you don't have to be exciting. You just got to win. So honestly, I think what he's going to do is he's probably going to just make it a slightly boring fight. He's going to push him against the fence, stop the power of Luque because he's pretty powerful, grind it out, and I think he's honestly just going to get that decision win. So I think that is how it's going to go. And the odds, again, for this one, really, really close. We've got Vicente Luque at -122 and Michael Chiesa at -102. Another coin toss. Yeah. But yeah, I'm saying just because of how I've heard he fights, I'm going to give the decision win to Chiesa because I just think I don't think he's going to get caught. But if he does get caught, then yeah, I'm definitely saying that Luque would get the KO. I just can't see Chiesa getting a KO or a finish. Especially the way Luque's been recently. I mean, if you do that to Woodley, you can do pretty much anything. Okay, and the next fight is the co-main. This is one of the exciting ones that I was talking about. Definitely one of my top 3 most exciting ones. Jose Aldo and Pedro Munoz. Again, another really close one. Again, if you go to Bet99 and check those odds, we've got Jose Aldo -118 and Pedro Munoz at -105. So again, really, really another toss-up. And there is a special one for this one. If you head over to Bet99, we've got a boosted odd. So specifically for that one, which is for my pick, which is going to be Jose Aldo. And I mean, that might be controversial to some people because I get it. Jose Aldo, he's getting a little older. I totally understand. And he did lose a couple fights there. But if you really paid attention to not just what he did in the last few fights, but who he was fighting, I think you'll see what I mean, especially if with the last fight with Chito, because, I don't really like Chito Vera, especially since he did to what he did to my favorite fighter, Suga. I don't like him, but I do think that he's a good fighter. And Aldo just easily won that fight, easily. And not only that, if you look even just a little bit farther back, who are all of his losses against? We had Jan. He lost in the 5th round. That was for the belt. He lost again. That's to a champ. And honestly, Jan should be the champ right now. But we won't talk about that. But yeah, so I mean, he lost to a champ there. Before that, Marlon Moraes, another amazing fighter, lost in a decision there. Sorry, because Jan was not a decision. That was just a loss. Before that, he lost to Volkanovski, another champ. So I mean, the last few losses, they were against just the top of everybody. And I just can't see Munoz rising to that level. I can't see Munoz getting to the Volkanovski level, the Piotr Jan level. I just can't see him doing that. So yeah, that's why I'm saying Aldo by decision. I just can't see Aldo really finishing too many people anymore, just because, yes, he is kind of old. Also, Munoz is tough. I can't see him finishing Munoz. That's the other reason. So yeah, which is why, like I said, if you go to Bet99, we've got some boosted odds, and that one is Jose Aldo. So yeah. Now we go over to the main event, and it is a crazy one. And again, this is one of my top entertaining ones for sure. I mean, you gotta love Derek Lewis, the Black Beast. So yeah, I mean, to anyone who watches fights, really, I mean, you should really give the edge to Cyril Gane here. I mean, come on. He's fast. I mean, especially for a heavyweight, he is super fast, got a crazy skill set. He can do literally everything. He is what an MMA fighter should look like. I truly believe that. I mean, he doesn't look like a heavyweight. That's how good he is. He just looks like he should be in he's huge, so obviously he's a heavyweight, but he's got the skill. He's got the speed of like even a middleweight or definitely a light heavyweight. Yeah, but where have we seen that before? Look no further than the last heavyweight title fight, Ngannou and Stipe. You got the huge power puncher on the one side, Ngannou, and in this case, Derek Lewis. And on the other side, you've got a really well-rounded fighter in Stipe, and in this case, Gane. And, like most of the time, you got to give the edge to the well-rounded fighter. But we saw exactly what can happen, and it's 5 rounds. Anything can happen. And I mean, like Stipe could have dominated for 4 rounds. He could have won on the cards every single round. And I don't think he did, but he could have. And I think, Gane definitely has the potential to do that. He probably will dominate those scorecards. But then what happened? You see Ngannou landed one bomb, and the fight's over. That's it. Because it's 5 rounds. It's 25 minutes. It takes 10 seconds. It takes 10 seconds, maybe not even that. And that's it. And I hate to say it, but it's definitely possible. Definitely possible for Derek Lewis to do the exact same thing. And I would have said the same thing going into the last fight. I'd have said Stipe would win. That would have been my guess, because Ngannou just isn't a really well-rounded fighter in comparison. But there's always the chance. There's always the chance that somebody lands the bomb. But the difference between, I think, the last fight, Ngannou and Stipe, and this one, Derek Lewis and Cyril Gane, I just think that Cyril Gane is just way more patient. He just doesn't play into getting thrown off like that, getting excited, getting ahead of himself like Stipe did. That Lewis bomb was unreal. Yeah, it was. Oh man, I love Lewis. That was crazy. But yeah, but we saw that from Cyril Gane last fight. His patience. He didn't, it might have been, sure, maybe it wasn't exciting to some people, but he just won every round. That's all he did. He won every round. Didn't really get hit much. He got his hits in. He won the fight, and he did it. That's it. And that is exactly what he has to do this time as well. He's just got to make sure he doesn't make he doesn't make that mistake. He's just got to keep him, if not keep him at a distance, at least, keep him against the fence, get some quick hits in, because he's so quick. And I mean, Derek Lewis, come on. I mean, he's quicker than you think he would be, but he's definitely not as quick as Cyril Gane. So as long as he doesn't jump it and get KO'd by something crazy, like as you mentioned, like oh, who was that? Blades. Like Blades got hit with. Oh man. As long as he can stay away from that, I'm definitely going to give him the win there. I mean, he's just so well-rounded and he's going for those points. That's those scorecards all the time. And the Black Beast just doesn't really do that. He's not that kind of fighter. As you said, he just lands, well, like the uppercut. He just lands bombs. And funny enough, Derek Lewis actually agrees with me on that. I will quote directly from his Twitter because this is one of the funniest tweets I have ever seen. By the way, follow Derek Lewis on Twitter and Instagram. He is hysterical. He is so funny. But yeah, on Twitter, he said this, direct quote, "If I'm the champion, the whole UFC division should be ashamed of themselves for a guy that had no damn skills being champion. They should all just relocate somewhere." Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying, I know he's doing it a little bit as a joke, but I mean, he is kind of right. Like, he just doesn't have those skills. He doesn't have the skills that Stipe has, that Daniel Cormier had, that Ciryl Gane has. He just doesn't have it. He's smart enough to know his opening and he goes for it. And because he's so strong, that's it. That is the end of the fight. But yeah, so, I mean, I'm going to agree with Derek Lewis here. And I'm definitely going to give it to, there was something else I was going to say. What did I have here? I've got my notes open here. But yeah, I mean, he obviously does have a lot of skill and the fight IQ is there. As we saw with Blades, he waited for that takedown because he knew he was going to throw it because Blades is a wrestler. He knew he was going to throw it. He waited, landed that one uppercut, and that was it. But Derek Lewis himself is correct. He has no business being champ. Sorry. Again, I love the guy. He is hilarious. But if you look, again, just look at every other champ that the UFC has. Do you see, there isn't one single power puncher there. That's the difference. But because of the heavyweights, you can. It's possible. And it's the only division that's possible in. Like, you're never going to see a flyweight that doesn't have any other skills just win the whole division just based on, getting, I wouldn't say lucky knockouts, but, really well-timed knockouts like that and not anything else. Like, you're just not going to see it. You're never going to see that in lightweights. You're never going to see that in welterweights. It's just, but that's the fact of the heavyweight division, which makes it so exciting, which is why I put this in those top 3 exciting fights that you asked about earlier, because it does have that chance. It does have that chance for Derek Lewis to get that wild KO. But because I don't think that that's going to happen, my pick is definitely going to be Ciryl Gane, and it is 100% going to be by decision. There is absolutely no way that Ciryl Gane is knocking out Derek Lewis. That is unfathomable. That is not happening. And I also really don't think that he's going to be able to submit Derek Lewis. Because, I mean, I'm sure if you've looked at Twitter at all recently, you've seen the clip of Derek Lewis. Like, he literally, whenever Derek Lewis doesn't want to wrestle anymore, he just stands up. He doesn't have to do any positions, any crazy grappling stuff. No, he literally just puts his hand down, stands up, gets up, and he's back. And yeah, I just can't see him being submitted. So that makes the obvious choice for me, Ciryl Gane by decision. But if you're not comfortable with that, I totally understand because, a lot of people are betting on Derek Lewis to get that KO, which, like I said, it's possible. It is possible. But I will tell you again, like I said, the odds, I'm still picking Ciryl Gane either way, but I will tell you the odds on that, on Bet99. We've got Derek Lewis at plus 285, Ciryl Gane at minus 371, which is, by the way, by far, the most lopsided. He is the biggest underdog of the night, Derek Lewis, by far, not even close. So, I mean, that kind of tells you what you need to know, really, is that, sure, it's possible. It is definitely possible for him to get that wild KO. But I just wouldn't bet on it. I would definitely bet on Ciryl getting the decision there. So before we go, like I said, I had a prelim that I was going to talk about because I find it. I think this. I know this one actually. I don't think it's going to be amazing. I know it's going to be good. Bobby Green and Rafael Fiziev. This is the other one in my top 3 most exciting ones for the night. Definitely, I think going to be this one, and I think that's why it's in the featured prelim too. Let me see in my notes here. I'm not sure. Again, this is, I didn't check the odds on this one. I closed the thing already, but I did notice it was close. And I think it was another coin toss. It was really close on this fight too. But if I had to bet, I would say I'm probably going to give it to Fiziev just because he's on his way up. He's got a KO streak going. He's got a streak going. Bobby Green is really good, though, which is why I know it's going to be exciting because Bobby Green is always good. Fiziev, I think this was the one actually who had these crazy kicks. I think it was him. Like when he kicked somebody in the body, the commentators actually mentioned it too. It sounded like thunder. Like it was so loud. It was so loud. It was actually loud on the mic, like on the TV. You could hear it like through your TV and it was loud. It was crazy. Craziest kick I've ever seen. I think that was Fiziev. So yeah, I'm going to give it to him because I also think he's a little bit younger too. But yeah, he's on his way up. And I think Bobby Green is, I wouldn't say on his way down, but he's not on the same trajectory. So I'm going to give that one to Fiziev. I'm also thinking probably a decision for that one, but could be a KO, but they're both tough. So yeah, I'm thinking probably by decision for that one too. A lot of decisions today. No KOs or submissions for me. Normally I give somebody a finish, but I honestly think these are all going to be pretty close. I think they're all going to be through decisions. Unless, of course, Derek Lewis lands a bomb. But yeah, that is it for this episode. If you want to follow me on my socials, my Twitter is BLBeard2. My Insta is BlueBeard427. My YouTube is BLÜ-FC. My Twitch is BlueBeardFC. These are all going to be linked wherever you're watching. And if you want to hear about other sports too, there are a lot more channels in the Area 51 network that has coverage of all of the other sports. So check out those other people too. So yeah, I can't wait to see this main fight. Oh man. And I will see you next week at the same time on Wednesday at 4. See ya next week.